Hi, it's Michael from Culture Talk and Tours, and today I'm here at the 921 Earthquake Museum here just in the south of Taichung City. In 1999, on September 21, there was a 7.3 earthquake that struck, and the museum is housed on the property of the Kwang Fu Junior High, and they've turned it into a museum to show how much the school was damaged. This is where a lot of the fault lines were going through this area, and also how building codes changed and how the buildings are supposed to be safer. So one of the things about living in Taiwan is there are earthquakes often, and if you are a little bit anxious about it, you're supposed to feel better once you see all the developments they've made in buildings. Let's have a look. I'm just coming to the entrance of the Earthquake Museum. This is the swimming pool, the former swimming pool of this junior high, and we'll just go around and find the entrance. So this is the do's and the don'ts during an earthquake. Number one, if you are outside, it says cover your head and neck with your bag. Stay away from big signs or shelves. Watch out for cars and stay in an open area. So don't stay near the building. This sign could fall down on you. This cart could fall over. If you are at school, drop to the ground and move safely under a desk or table. When the shaking stops, go to a safe place and gather with the teacher. So here in Taiwan, they have drills, earthquake drills, and the children learn to go under their desk or the table at school. Now, if you are at the park, it says move away from the playground equipment and street lights, stay in an open area. So stay away from the street lights, stay away from the swing that could fall over, and cover your head. And in a supermarket, stay away from large shelves if possible, stay away from anything that could fall, stay in an open area. So away from any products that could fall over, stay away from this freezer here that could fall over on you. And this little boy's got a shopping basket on his head and mom's got her bag. And at home, stay calm and don't worry. Stay away from the TV, furniture, and windows. If you're cooking, turn off the flame. Again, get under the table and cover your head with your pillow. If you're sleeping, they also say go to a doorway or something that's got a lot of structure in the building above you. And if you're at the beach, move away from the shoreline, go to higher ground or as high building as the water is coming in and out. There could be a tsunami. So these are all things that you should do in different areas if you have an earthquake. Another suggestion is to develop a home disaster response plan. So this is what you do to get ready if you do have an earthquake. Where is the nearest shelter? So find out where in your neighborhood you have a shelter for an earthquake. Then also, you can have a safe meeting place. So if you're at home, where do you meet? If you're at school, where do you meet? Parents tell the kids where we're going to meet if there is an earthquake. Now, in your home, where is the exit in our home? If we live on the ground floor, we could go out the front door and the back door. If we live in an apartment, stay out of the elevator and use the stairs. We've got to get together and get out of the house. Now, you can also prepare an emergency kit. A lot of people here in Taiwan have these ready. What kind of bag should you choose? Waterproof and durable materials, so like a backpack. Where should you put it? In an easy, accessible location. So somewhere where you can say, oh, it's an earthquake, let's grab it. So you can see here's one here, and they've got it under their bed or in a drawer by their bed. You should make sure that everything is usable. Check once every 6 months to ensure that these items are usable and not expired. For food items, is your bag too heavy? Will it be too much to carry? So now what can we put in our emergency backpack? We've got medical supplies, first aid kit, and over-the-counter medicines. Band-aids, alcohol pad, mosquito repellent, first aid kit, scissors, some cream, over-the-counter medicine. This would be the medical part. Now for food, emergency food and drinking water. A lot of people will have bottled water. We've got potato chips, canned food, energy drink, instant noodles is a good one, non-perishable food, energy bars, salt, utensils, and of course drinking water. You can have this ready in your emergency bag. Tools, gloves, flashlight, radio, battery, safety whistle, all of these products, a lighter, rope, all of these things can also go in your emergency backpack. And clothing, you can have a warm jacket, some socks, a raincoat, and emergency blanket to keep you warm if it is a winter month. And then personal items. We've got glasses, photocopies of documents, emergency contact lists. If you are trapped, they'll be able to contact your family to let them know that you're okay. Keys, cash, earplugs. If you've got baby, you've got diapers. And then hygiene supplies, toothbrush, cleaning supplies, towel, mask, and wet tissue, moist towelettes. These are all things that can be in your emergency backpack that's ready in case of an earthquake. The earthquake is dangerous, but we also have something called soil liquefaction, and this is due to the shaking. Soil particles become compact, the water content between the particles is compressed, increasing the water pressure, causing soil particles to spread and disintegrate. So you can have almost like a landslide of soil. So it just becomes a river of soil, which can happen after the earthquake. So you're outside, you've left your building or your house, you also need to look out for soil liquefaction. Taiwan is susceptible to earthquakes because on a tiny island we have 33 fault lines. Now this is where we are, the area right now. The two fault lines are here, and this is where the earthquake in 921 and 1999 occurred. So both of these were affected and it's caused so much damage. So we've learned about the different aspects of the earthquake. Now we're going to see what happened to this school. We're now outside of the Earthquake Museum, and this is the junior high school and how it was affected by the earthquake. You can see behind me is one building, and the kind of balcony area has collapsed and is slanted, and it's now being held up by these partitions here. And then behind me here are some classrooms that we're going to go have a closer look at. This is part of the school that was severely damaged. You can see behind me that they were held up by only these very kind of thin, simple columns, and the rebar that's inside of the columns is so twisted. So the wall completely fell and the second floor collapsed onto the first floor. So part of the legislation that was created after this earthquake was increasing the building codes for earthquake resistant buildings. So this is another part of the building behind me, and what we just looked at was the bathrooms at the end of the hall of the building, and all of the tile, everything just collapsed. So it was like a 3-story building, and the ground floor is completely crushed. The first floor fell off, and now we just have this part here, and you are able to walk on this walkway and look into the building. The earthquake that hit this area on September 21st, 1999 was a 7.3 earthquake. Now the only positive was that it struck at 1:47 a.m. So fortunately there were no students in the building and there were no casualties with the destruction of this school. Behind me you can see all 3 floors are all collapsed, even worse than the other side. I'm now on the walkway that is above where the original school was, and this is the part where it's absolutely destroyed. All through levels are all the way down to 1, and you're able to walk over the building. So we just passed through the fault line area, which is where the school is mostly damaged. This is the front gate here that's toppled over. A lot of schools, all schools really in Taiwan, have a front gate. And then this is the main entrance. So this building was right beside the fault line, and it seems to be built differently. And strongly. This is the other side of the building, and you can see it even still has the fans and some of the lights. So the problem with the construction were these simple columns that we have here and a very heavy cement roof. So this is the third floor, the first floor, the second floor, and the first floor is completely demolished underneath. Now behind me are the bathrooms at the opposite end that we saw before. So you can see the toilets are here and the 3 floors have just collapsed and all the tile and all the walls have fallen. So it seems like this had even less support than the middle part of the building. the back of the school, and you can see behind me the part that isn't so destroyed is the front entrance. And this is the one side that was furthest away from the fault line, and then the other side it was closest to the fault line. And this part here, you can clearly see these pillars that have a little bit of rebar in it are just completely crushed. On this side, you can see the first floor is no longer. The second has completely crushed it, and the third is coming down. This part of the museum is a newer part of the school, and you can see it's got more rebar in it, the metal bars in the cement columns. Some of the pillars that were in the older part of the school only had one or two, and it just cracked and then were bent over. So this at least stayed up, but this here is what the new building regulations have, where you have the long pieces of rebar and then some shorter, and then ones going in between each bar. And right here is a brace that around Taiwan you can see that they've attached to older buildings to bring them up to code so they are more earthquake resistant. So you have this brace on the side of your building, and then over here is showing the rebar that should have been in all of these beams above us, so you can see how thick they are and how thin the ones from the school actually are. Now this part of the school again is newer, so right behind us is where the fault line is. You can see the pillar is cracked, but because it did have more rebar, it actually is still standing. And inside the classroom they still have the fans and the lights. Behind me now is the track from this school. So at the back is where the track used to be, and then it's dropped to this level here. Looks almost like about 20 feet that it's dropped. Okay, behind me is the running track from the school. You can see this is the original running track here. And then here is the drop. And over here, they usually have more area that you can see, but it's under renovation right now. This is the Earthquake Museum, the 921 from the 7.3 earthquake in 1999 here in the south part of Taichung City, Taiwan. If you get a chance, it's very interesting. We've got a beautiful warm day and you can really see how powerful a 7.3 earthquake can be. We'll see you on the next episode.